It's the great unspoken. A taboo. Something that I've had to face up to recently myself. Most of us don't know how to think or talk about death. But there are some people who do think they know. On the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, centuries-old customs make the dead a constant part of day-to-day life. I've come here to learn more about these remarkable practices, which blur the line between. But there are some people who do think they know. On the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, centuries-old customs make the dead a constant part of day-to-day life. I've come here to learn more about these remarkable practices, which blur the line between this world and the next. A morbid obsession or a healthier way to deal with the grief of losing a loved one? Tanah Toraja in Indonesia is an extraordinary place. Here, ancient animist beliefs intertwine with newer religions, resulting in unique rituals. At this traditional Torajan funeral, friends and family gather to celebrate the life of a wealthy local man called Dengen, who died over 2 years ago. But here's the strange thing. As far as his family and everybody else here are concerned, Dengen is still alive. Torajans have a strong desire to stay connected to their dead loved ones, in spirit and in body. To see what this means in practice, I went to visit a Torajan family. Hello. Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nagpayo kami pa. Malasulas po kami. Manong siya ang isa.
This is Danduro. He's 86 and his family take care of him.
Kita yakin bahwa dia masih mendengar. Karena kita yakin bahwa arwahnya masih bersama dia karena masih sakit. Anak-anak dekati juga seperti itu. Datang rutin. Ada yang tinggal di luar, tetapi rutin dia menelpon ke sini. Bagaimana keadaan Bapak? Sekali kita sudah Kristen.
Danduro died more than 2 years ago. Here, it takes months and sometimes years until a funeral actually takes place. In the meantime, families keep the deceased in the house and care for them on a daily basis. They treat them as if they were sick.
Dan kita masih memberi makan selama dia dianggap masih dalam sakit. Jadi 2 kali makan juga sehari. Masih kita siapkan juga rokok, berkesukaan kopi. Masih memberikan apa yang masih diperlukan selama sakit.
Torajans traditionally rubbed special leaves and herbs over a body to preserve it. Nowadays, a chemical called formalin is often injected into the body to embalm it. There is a powerful odor of musk and the chemical.
Hindi tutulay mo eh. Matulay mo kami. Papurap kong kumande le. Ngale kumande, hindi mo yung obo kami. Siya spread mi le, hindi mo.
When my father died, we buried him in 2 days. It was all very sudden. It was all very bam bam. And to be honest with you, a few years on, I still feel like I haven't adjusted. It was just too sudden. I'm still in a bit of a shock. Does this help you?
Dikuburkan secepat-cepatnya kan kita merasa cepat kehilangan. Kalau kami orang Toraja, ya makanya kan kami lama-lama karena kami masih menganggap masih bersama-sama terus. Biar kadang dia mungkin dimimpikan orang bahwa saya ini terlalu kaku. Jadi kita lakukan lagi, mungkin lakukan ini masih apa yang seperti kita lakukan pembersihan. Dan kalau tidak baik perawatannya selama di bumi ini, mereka akan kembali mengganggu di kehidupan kami. Menurut keyakinan kita sebagai orang Toraja itu, ya mati itu kan nanti setelah dalam upacara adat baru dikatakan mati. Baru kita juga diarahkan ke sebelah barat. Jadi orang sakit ini nanti setelah dalam proses adat nanti kita arahkan ke sebelah barat. Baru ada pemotongan kerbau, babi. Baru itu bisa katakan mati.
What's really incredible, none of these kids seem to be fazed by the fact that there is a dead person lying here and everybody is so calm. Danduro will remain here until his family have saved up enough money for a lavish funeral. During their lives, Torajans work hard to accumulate wealth. But rather than saving for a luxurious life, they save for a grand departure from this earth. The wealthier they are, the larger and more elaborate the funerals. Some last for days. Dengem was a rich man, and his funeral lasted 7 days. Animal sacrifice is a fundamental part of this tradition. Buffaloes are a very important element to the Torajan funerals because they are believed to be the carriers of the deceased soul into the afterlife. The meat is eaten at the funeral feasts, and the buffalo horns decorate homes and tombs of the deceased, a symbol of wealth and status.
The sacrifice, it's one part of helping your soul to reincarnation. By the way of ancestor, everyone will be going to reincarnation, but not everyone get a same way, get a same time, get a short way or long way. Depend of your character, depend of your personal life.
Does it depend on your wealth?
Of course.
$50,000 was spent on Dengen's funeral, roughly 10 times more than the average annual income here. They sacrificed 24 buffaloes, more than 40 pigs, as well as feeding and accommodating hundreds of guests.
This funeral is one way to make your soul can be reincarnation soon. The soul of the poor people will be get a little bit longer, but the soul of the rich people, they can have a short way to reincarnation.
Even at this point, Dengen's funeral is not complete. Only when his coffin is carried to the top of this special platform is he finally considered dead. According to ancient animist beliefs here, this is the point where the soul finally ascends to the cosmos. From there, it watches over living relatives, bringing them good fortune, as long as the families take proper care of their dead.
Your journey after you die, it's step by step. There's a place we call Puya, where you can pass until your reincarnation. You will be returned to the earth to watching and to open the way to your family. The family believe the spirits, they watching us from the far away, was always watching us.
For centuries, the Torajans have been laying their dead to rest in caves like this. Yet another place where the afterlife connects with this one. This cave winds for 2 kilometers, and it's pretty full. Even here, friends and families bring necessities for their dead relatives. In a tradition predating photography, statues of dead noble men and women are carefully carved out of wood.
Saat orang mati, untuk orang mati. Biasa 8 hari, tergantung dari foto. 26 hari, 26 tahun. Kalau di sini cuma 15 juta. Ya memang sudah termasuk adat istiadat. Dulu kan orang nenek moyang dulu itu belum ada foto kamera. Jadi maunya itu mau ada bukti bahwa ada dulu nenek yang meninggal.
Most people here are farmers, and their average income is around $5,000 a year. It's clear that for Torajans, the process of dying and being reincarnated is far smoother if you're rich.
Kalau pakai kartu foto kan cepat rusak, tapi ini kan sampai dunia kiamat mungkin tidak habis-habis.
Here, the physical relationship between the dead and the living continues long after death, even after burials. People are coming out the church now and they're all shaking hands in their traditional manner. They do this and then they touch their chest and they're getting ready for a less usual ceremony. Oh. Ah. The village leader explains that the ritual is called matnene, also known as the cleansing of the corpses. Once every couple of years, families bring the coffins of long-departed relatives out of their graves and open them up for a big family reunion. These are the close relatives of a woman called Maria Solo, and they are here for her matnene. One of the guests is Andy Lolo, a Torajan professor of sociology.
It means doing something for someone beloved who has passed away as an appreciation to honor the beloved dead person, to serve just like still alive from the sociological perspective. That's a kind of keeping social interaction between those who are still alive and those already died. They keep the close relationship between a member of the family.
The family will bring Maria out of this tomb for the first time today. bringing Maria out now. We're just waiting for them to open her coffin. I'm feeling a bit nervous, to be honest. I just had to come out to get some distance from it. There really was no escaping death. I watched as they slaughtered pigs. And the final sacrifice, a buffalo. The coffin is finally open. Once again, that strong odor of musk and formalin filled the air. Thank you. They want me to show what she looked like before and what she looks like now. She died 3 years ago and got buried 2 years ago. They kept her in the house for 1 year. Maria's covered in her most treasured possessions. Relatives touch her as a greeting. I'm gonna try to touch her hair just as everybody else does, as a sign of respect. She feels very hard. The hair feels like normal, still very soft. I couldn't help but wonder how her children feel seeing their mother like this. Her elder son seemed very calm.
Perasaan sekarang kan ini saya punya orang tua sudah dilaksanakan sekarang sangat lega karena sudah dilaksanakan. Supaya besok lihat itu mukanya orang tua. Sama-sama orang tua kan. Orang tua sayang, sangat menyayangi sama saya, dan tidak pernah marah-marah sama saya. Jadi saya itu saja anunya tentang orang tua yang.
I don't see any more sign of grief. It's just normal. It's just the body is here and it's normal. When you couldn't see the body, when it was inside the coffin, even I was shaking. I was a lot more nervous. And everybody seemed more upset. Well, the relatives. But now everybody's content.
Pernah begitu, suka bercanda begitu. Kalau macam anak mampir bilang panggil anak.
Another guest particularly close to Maria Solo is Esther Sobon, her daughter-in-law. How do you think Menene helps you deal with the grief?
Ya, bisa juga dikatakan ekspresi kesedihan, macam kita orang perantau begitu, bisa kayak meringankan beban yang kita pikul. Orang tua kita kalau meninggal pasti kita ingin mau lihat, tapi kalau kita sudah lihat ya mayatnya pasti kita sudah rasa senang begitu.
But for me, I want to remember my relatives, my dad. I want to remember him when he was alive. I'm worried that if I see him dead, his identity will change in my mind.
Tidak, kalau menurut saya kan saya sudah ada orang tua. Kalau menurut saya tidak lihat karena, tapi cuma kayak kita maunya kalau kita sebagai manusia pasti dibilang coba orang tua saya masih hidup seperti halnya yang saya alami. Kalau kita perantau pasti bagaimana hati kita seorang anak ya, kalau tidak ada orang tua pasti kita menangis sedih. Apalagi kalau kita sudah sampai di kampung seperti hal yang kita alami, kita sampai di kampung kok tidak ada orang tua, jadi kita sedih.
Many of these practices are slowly disappearing. The majority of Torajans converted from the old animist religion called Alek Todolo to Christianity after Dutch missionaries arrived less than a century ago. But, as here, the two can and do coexist. They're wrapping Maria Solo in this white sheet. This is a symbol of changing her clothes. In some villages, they literally change the outfit into a new fashionable one. But here, because they are Christians, they don't want to mess around too much with the corpse.
At the beginning of Christianity here, no manene, even no funeral. It was forbidden by the missionaries. But later, maybe in 50s they start again, because at that time it was very difficult to make people become Christian.
Apalagi kita sebagai anak Tuhan pasti tantangan, pasti itu tantangan. Tapi ya itulah kita juga tidak bisa tolak karena adat kita asli Toraja. Jadi bagaimana ya? Yang penting iman kita yang kita ini ya bagaimana?
All this is so different to how I've dealt with my father's death. Or so I thought.
What did you do to your father?
We buried him.
Buried him, yeah? And then until now?
I
You
visit his grave sometimes.
his grave sometimes. You did actually manene. In different way.
How?
Yeah. Because you visit the grave of your father because you still remember him as your father. And you still have an emotional relationship with him. Your love to your father, never ending. Right? And that's the principle of manene.
So perhaps the principles behind rituals here are not very different from most other cultures. Remembering our dead is something most of us try to do. But Torajans don't leave that to chance. And for them, there certainly appears to be great comfort from their unique rituals around death. For centuries, the Torajans have been laying their dead to rest in caves like this. Yet another place where the afterlife connects with this one. This cave winds for 2 kilometers, and it's pretty full. Even here, friends and families bring necessities for their dead relatives. In a tradition predating photography, statues of dead noble men and women are carefully carved out of wood. Clothes. In some villages, they literally change the outfit into a new fashionable one. But here, because they are Christians, they don't want to mess around too much with the corpse.
At the beginning of Christianity here, no manene, even no funeral. It was forbidden by the missionaries. But later, maybe in 50s, they start again. Because at that time, it was very difficult to make people become Christian.
Apalagi kita sebagai anak Tuhan pasti tantangan, pasti itu tantangan. Tapi ya itulah kita juga tidak bisa tolak karena adat kita asli Toraja. Jadi bagaimana ya? Yang penting iman kita yang kita ini ya bagaimana?
All this is so